What is up, Titans? Welcome back to a brand new Titans video. This is kind of like a bonus video because I wanted to dive into the new photos that were released of the original season 1 finale, and that's containing Nightwing. This is containing like Raven and Starfire in fairly kind of comic booky suits and everything like that. Well, let me just put it this way. The original finale was looking very, very different, and you may kind of recognize a video like this from me because I have gone over the original finale before, and in terms of, I think, after Titans season 1 ended, I said, you know, I think the video was called Was Cutting the Finale a Mistake or something like that, and I went over what we had at the time. But recently, Boris, I cannot pronounce the second name, I apologize, Mochwivsky, that was my attempt. I believe he is the director of photography on Titans, but he gave us a whole bunch more insight into the season 1 finale, because I believe DC Universe, I don't know if they still have this or not, they had this kind of show going in like behind the scenes of filming and stuff of Titans every now and again, and in that we originally got a couple of peeks at what was coming up in the Titans season 1 finale, but then they cut it, but we didn't really have a true insight. But these photos show a lot more, including the Doom Patrol. Now, you may have heard that the Doom Patrol were originally meant to be in the season 1 finale of Titans. Also spoke about this before in a separate video with the whole freaking confusing situation of, is Doom Patrol connected to Titans? And trust me, I'm still basically kind of confused about that more than ever, but we'll get into that in today's video because there's some information already out there on what the Doom Patrol was supposed to be doing in this finale, and then I kind of want to offer my take on that because I don't really know if like everything lines up, and I'll get to what I mean about that. But before we get into this video, guys, go ahead and remember to click that like button if you do go on to enjoy this video, and of course subscribe for more Titans videos, DC Universe videos, and other kind of comic book nerdy videos like this. So the first one from Boris that he's uploaded on his Instagram, I'll leave the tag in the description of this video, by the way, if you want to go check these out for yourself, is that we see Raven kind of screaming here. I believe I've seen this photo before. This is what I mean. There were a couple of photos already out there. Now this is just, as you can see, like the background as well, like the whole room seems to be like distorted. You have things like on the side of the wall, like tables and whatnot. And yeah, essentially this is probably a part of Trigon's original reality manipulation. Like the amount of stuff that got cut out of the finale is just way more than even probably what I can imagine. It's just it's a lot of stuff. Like so much stuff got changed, and I think even Nightwing being suited up is just a very good example of that, just to give a little tease. But the next photo offers us a much more interesting look at Raven, but not only Raven, Starfire. So they both seem to be in what I guess they were initially going to go with, their kind of comic booky versions. Raven looks very much so like herself there. So does Starfire, but in another way. I believe she had another costume that I'm probably showing on screen right now. This is like a battle iteration of it, and I believe this is when they were going through the 300 days of training. Now, by the way, let me just put this out there. I do not know every detail for a T. This is just my spin on it, where I think they were going with the finale. And I think this is, as you can see, Starfire is wielding that book there. And if you guys remember that on Corey's ship, they had a look at this book. They had a little passage about Trigon. They mentioned 300 days of training and stuff like that. So I think this is a result of all of that, and Raven's come back already badass and ready to best her father. And as you can tell, this is so different to what we actually got in season 2 episode 1. But also interestingly as well, you can tell that Corey has actually got her kind of season 2 hair. I mean, albeit that it does look a little bit different. It looks a little bit lighter than the red that they gave her in season 2. But either way, it looks like they had sorted that out for the finale. And I'm guessing this was in between the transition period, or should I say the training that Raven went through, because we do see other photos. I know I said I'd actually show these in order, but there were another couple of photos in this which makes me think that they were linked. Yeah, we see this photo here, and this is of Corey with the curly hair and Raven there, and it looks like they're in this kind of very decorated room. Now this of course could be absolutely anywhere, but there is an article from Geeks Worldwide that goes over what they've apparently learned from the finale. As always, guys, always say take everything with a grain of salt. It's not like we know this for an absolute fact, but they do give us plenty of ideas, and a good idea at least, of what apparently went down in the finale, albeit that I don't necessarily think that the Doom Patrol stuff is 100% accurate, and I'll get into my own personal take and twist on that in a second. But they're mentioning that Raven did go to Azarath to do the 300 days of training. So maybe what we're seeing in this photo is Starfire accompanying her. I mean, this could be completely outside that, maybe some other training, but I'm thinking this is all to do with that. And somewhere in between, Starfire gets a straight hair instead of the curly kind of wig, and also they both return in like battle form with those new suits, like the Raven comic book accurate one and the Starfire battle suit. But before we get into the more meaty stuff like the Doom Patrol stuff and also the Nightwing shot and what could be going on there and who they're fighting, we see that Gar is getting drowned here by Dick Grayson. Now, Geeks Worldwide, from what they've learned, have said that Gar was, he dies to Dick Grayson, but also he turns into an eel instead of a snake that we got in season 2 episode 1. Apparently they were going to go for that. Apparently an octopus was on the table for a little while, but they decided to go for an eel. So take that as you will. I guess similar to a snake in a way. I don't know. Maybe they reused the renders. Who knows? But this is when in this photo we see that Gar is okay in the bathtub, but also that Rachel and Corey are there, but in their new kind of not personas, but like new get-ups, if you will, probably post the 300 days of training, and apparently Rachel resurrects Gar. So that's very interesting. As I always say, take this with a grain of salt. We actually don't know if this is exactly what happened, but I'm willing to bet the whole drowning thing, yeah, of course, I mean, you can see that in the photos, but Rachel probably did, resurrect Gar. Likely after that, as they're already in their kind of combat gear, they go to fight Trigon, and that's where we have the other photos of like Raven lifting up like this and probably, absorbing Trigon into a, soul self or something like that, which they originally intended for the season 1 finale as well, instead of just disappearing into that little portal. Now, probably one of the most intriguing photos to me, I mean, a lot of you may find the original Titans suited lineup more interesting, but is the Doom Patrol one, because in this photo we can see that we've got basically in a similar setup to the finale, or should I say the first episode of season 2, where we've got Jason Todd there, we've got Hawk, we've got Dove, we've got Corey, but interestingly here we have the Doom Patrol from episode 4 of Titans season 1. Now, interestingly, Geeks Worldwide in this article here, from at least what they've been told, is that apparently Negative Man, Larry, was going to use his powers to open a portal, and that portal would lead the Doom Patrol to the Titans universe, and the finale was supposed to introduce the concept of the multiverse, which would explain the confusing continuity between the two shows. But the confusing thing about that, or maybe it's the wording, is that they're saying that Larry would have opened up a portal to come over to the Titans universe from the Doom Patrol show. But at this point in time, the Doom Patrol show wasn't released or wasn't out there like properly. As of episode 4, Doom Patrol, it was low-key like a backdoor pilot. They didn't even know if they had got the show off the ground running kind of thing. So that doesn't really add up to me. Like, especially when you look at these photos and you see that Larry there, Rita, and Robot Man is identical get-up to the Doom Patrol in Titan Season 1, Episode 4, which, by design looks different. You can see Larry's got the different glasses on. You can see he's got the tie and everything like that. You can see Rita is in her red dress with the gloves. That was the Doom Patrol from Titan Season 1, Episode 4, not the Doom Patrol from the Doom Patrol show that we know, because that's just so different. Like, it really is a different iteration. So honestly, the way I'm looking at this here is that, judging from this photo, this isn't the Doom Patrol from the Doom Patrol show. What I'm looking at here is the Doom Patrol from episode 4 of Titan season 1, Doom Patrol. Literally, Larry looks the exact same, Rita looks the exact same. But however, if you are confused about the Doom Patrol show separately, I have done a whole separate video on this. That is actually a different iteration. Like, if you're confused about the whole inconnectivity between the DC Universe live action shows, which is just so far Doom Patrol and Titans, that Doom Patrol you see in Titans season 1 is different from the one that they've gone with at the actual Doom Patrol show. Now, before you say, oh, they just recasted the actor and it's just a little bit retconned that way, that is not really the case. There are so many inconsistencies and just way beyond that, more than the team that you actually saw in Titan Season 1, Episode 4. For example, Larry in Titan Season 1, Episode 4 was completely different. He was so confident. He didn't have any of the issues that he has in Doom Patrol Season 1. Rita, yet again, completely different, and I believe the actress has already said that the version of her on Doom Patrol has never met Gar, never met Beast Boy. So just to add even more confusing comments to that, you kind of see what I mean. It seems that, you know, they had kind of a backdoor pilot for Doom Patrol on Titans, but when they actually came to making the show, they wanted to change so much up. And before anyone says, like on my other video talking about this, that the Doom Patrol season 1 show is just set in the past before Titans season 1 episode 4, that's not the case. In the first episode, they did a time lapse, and then it continues on from 2019. So just to clear any confusion up there or any speculation, it does seem as though they are separate. I mean, on the bottom line, I guess you could just look at it as in season 1 episode 4 of Titans, that Doom Patrol is in a Titans world, but they're just on a different world, like it's a multiverse, just like the CW has with Supergirl being on Earth 38, and then Barry Allen and Oliver Queen on Earth 1, that kind of situation. I know it's a little bit unideal for people who like everything to be connected, but I guess that's just the way it kind of went, with a bit of a bumpy road with figuring things out for Titans, and then, oh, we're going to make a whole Doom Patrol show now, but actually we don't want Larry to be like how he was in episode 4 with the way we portrayed him there. Actually, we want to recast the Chief. Actually, Elastigirl's going to be quite different. Robot Man will probably keep the same because he is basically the same in the Doom Patrol episode of Titans and the show, but you see what I'm going with there. Along the journey of production, things changed, so they decided to probably low-key, even though they haven't explained it yet, create a multiverse. Also, just another thing with the Larry from the actual Doom Patrol show, he doesn't even know how to use his powers or anything of the like, let alone open up a whole portal in 2019, like in kind of present day in the show, than the one that was apparently meant to do all of those things in this Titans season 1 original finale, which just goes further to prove that this Larry, and how different that Larry was in episode 4 of season 1 of Titans, was probably, you know, the Titans universe version of Doom Patrol, where he was more experienced, he was more happy, completely contrasting the depressed Larry in the Doom Patrol show. So yeah, just more things to try and add that into the mix there. But then interestingly, we do see another photo of Larry, or should I say Negative Man, with Starfire there, and in her curly wig. So it seems that in between the photos of where we see Corey and Raven in their new getup, their new suits, and then the photos we see of Corey with the curly hair, I'm just wondering, like, this is totally my own speculation here, if Larry in this scene, in this photo, was going to open a portal to maybe Azarath for Corey and Raven to maybe go through and then train and then come back. And then, like, that's how they come back with the different hair, the different suits. And that's where we see this photo with maybe Corey and Raven training. I mean, honestly, my guess is as good as yours at this point. And then lastly, everyone, we have the Titans team up photo, which is very interesting because I swear, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but you know, when the Nightwing suit was revealed before episode 13 of season 2, you know, when the costume people were showing some members of the press who got to see it, one of them asked Greg Walker about the Nightwing suit in season 1, and he kind of got shot down about it, like in kind of a way where there were no plans for it or something like that. But it's then like we get photos like this, and you can see that the Nightwing suit is practically identical. I can't guarantee you that because the suit, you know, close up, you could argue that maybe the arms have a little bit less armor on it, but maybe they do, but maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at it from now. I'm just gonna say maybe they did tweak it, but you know, from what I heard as well, that, you know, the Nightwing suit we saw in season 2 had already been made since season 1, and here we have the proof. Like the excrement sticks are identical, the suit, even the front of it, is practically identical. The only thing I'll give you there that I can probably maybe slightly tell is the arms seem a little bit more bare, but I could be wrong about that, and this could be literally identical. But either way, you can see the Titans suited up there. We've got Wonder Girl in a suit. She originally got into it in season 1. We see Starfire's suit there, which is different to the battle suit that I've actually been showing you throughout this video. So there was kind of 2 suits for her there. Maybe one was in the 300 days of training on Azarath. And as for how they did that, by the way, I'm guessing, you know, time was different as to how they fit the 300 days of training in. And as you can tell, basically, this is how Titans season 2 has kind of ended. And for those of you who are wanting more of this, like, or you just wish this happened in the first place, I do get why they delayed it. I mean, if Nightwing would have just somehow got his suit in those final couple of episodes, it would have been very rushed. I'm not defending or shilling the show here. I'm just saying that would have been like really random. Wait, how did you come up with that? How did you get to that, from that journey to become from Robin to Nightwing? Just all in the battle of fighting Trigon. Like, that would have been so random, right? So I get why they took a while in season 2. Granted that I think maybe the whole season would have been a bit too long, and it is just mind-boggling how you already had this for the end of season 1. Like, it really is entertainingly mind-boggling, like, because it's making me scratch my head so much. But they're clearly fighting people here in these shots. We have had other shots as well where you can see Starfire blast people away. Apparently this could have been Hive. Can't confirm that, but apparently they were randomly just fighting Hive, and it would have been a low-key tease for a villain of season 2, because I think I am right in saying as well, they didn't actually even know they were doing Deathstroke for season 2 until fairly last minute. So yeah, interesting, but confusing stuff. So Titans, I'm going to leave this video there. I'm sorry if I made things more confusing for you. You know, I know maybe if you're watching this video, you're expecting like a really clear, transparent explanation, but I don't think anyone would be able to offer that to you, just because the DC universe hasn't explained this themselves. So I'm just kind of giving my take on how I think like the Titan season 1 episode 4 Doom Patrol would have fit in there, what was originally going on with like Raven and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think that they should have done this like with Nightwing and everybody was suited up fighting Hive at the end after Trigon? Like, all of that sounds incredibly rushed to me from episode 11 where we ended off at the end of last season. And how do you feel about the Doom Patrol being very obviously different from the take that we got in the actual Doom Patrol show? I know there's going to be some people still saying they are the same version, it's just a bit of retconning, but trust me, like, it is monumentally different. I think, as I said, with that specifically, they just kind of had the idea on the show, and then after all of this got scrapped as well, especially when the writing for the show came in, and like they were really focusing on the characters and the plot for the actual Doom Patrol show, they were thinking, okay, let's kind of paint this over with a whole new color, and that's what they did. So anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like on it, as it really does show your support for the channel. Subscribe for more Titans and Doom Patrol and DC Universe videos just like this. You can check out my past couple of videos appearing alongside me right here, and I think that is absolutely everything, other than you can talk about this subject with me in my Discord server. Link will be in the top pinned comment down below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Titans and Doom Patrollers in the next video. Goodbye.